Alright, Michael Grubb from Evolved Ministry. So I'm going to address a question that consistently pops up. I've actually answered it a few times on Facebook and other places, but I'm just going to get it over with now. A lot of people want to know why their connection comes in and out as an energy practitioner. So sometimes, certain days they're getting a lot of really good connections and good responses, and other days it seems like it takes you forever to be able to connect in. Things aren't working like they usually do, or maybe they're working like they usually do, and you're trying to figure out why on certain days you're experiencing this increased amount of energy. Well, here's a thing that's going on. There's a thing called ambient energy, and then there's a thing called engineering. Now, ambient energy is what most people are typically working with. Ambient energy can be affected by so many different variables. So, for instance, if we have a day where there's a massive solar flare or CME blast, okay, that comes from the sun, we're going to experience a very electrified environment. Okay, so you're going to get a lot more movement. It doesn't take hardly anything. All you have to do is barely move your hands or even your eyes, and you will get all of these effects. You've got a supercharged environment. Okay, there's other days where maybe the tides are a bit higher. Maybe there's days where there's a bit more pull between the sun or the moon upon the Earth's gravitational field. There's all sorts of things that can affect it. So what happens is there's a lot of people, they'll go out and they'll practice on these particular days, and there's certain days where they go out and wham, wham, everything's working perfectly and you're getting all of these great movements. And a lot of people will fool themselves into thinking that's 100% them. It is not 100% you when you're doing it. Okay, you're working with any number and cooperating with any number of variables out there that are making it possible. So when you're working with strictly ambient energy, you're pretty much at the mercy of what the universe is giving you. Now the thing is in order to be a very good energy practitioner in the first place, is you have to be able to master and learn how to bring in ambient energy to yourself. That's part of what we teach at Evolved Ministry. That's part of the curriculum, is being able to master and work with ambient energy. Okay, so there's different levels of mastery that goes with self-mastery. And all of this is you. It is within you. Now when I say it's all within you, I'm not saying that all the stuff that's going on out there and all these variables are you, but it's all within you and what you can do to connect into it to the best of your ability. So, there's all sorts of things that you can do, which, breathing techniques, certain types of exercises. I put many things up. So, there's another level of all this too, which is, of course, the engineering. And that's really where the mastery stuff lies, because once you become a very good engineer, you're no longer at the mercy of the idea of ambient energy. Now, there are still degrees, no matter what, to where you're still cooperating with stuff. It's not like you're superseding and you're going over the head of the engineering department here on planet Earth. Okay? So, it's not like you're taking over things by your own will. The thing is once you've learned ambient energy and you've gone through all the proper steps, you've at that point sculpted and honed yourself to a degree where you still remain completely in harmony, and then you are still working with the elements. You just know how to beef them up, and then you know how to distribute the energy in exact amounts in certain areas, and then that way you can energize your electrical field, what you're working with, in perfect little pockets that doesn't affect the entire universe as a whole on the outside of it. Okay, so you can have it to where the energy is contained, and then you can work within these set parameters. And so that's what engineering does, is it takes away the idea that you need to be at the mercy of a solar flare. Although, once you get into engineering, believe me, you can the things that you can work with and the things that you can help trigger and the things that you can enter, turn on and turn off, you'll be very, very, very amazed and surprised. But at the same time, once you get really good at this too, you realize what this all is. And so just remember that even though you go out and you get all of these successes, there's going to be times where you're going to have failures. And there's probably, especially when you first start, you're probably going to have more failures than you are going to have successes. Everything is a building process. So again, for those out there who are just now getting into this, there's a thing called ambient energy. Okay, that's a long wave and short wave radiation. Okay, The short wave is the energy that goes from the solar, okay, so it comes from the sun or the cosmos, hits the ground, hits the earth, and then it bounces back up. And the long wave is the stuff that comes from the ground and then just goes up into the cosmos. Okay, so essentially that's what you're tapping into. Okay, so there's direct current, there's alternating current, and what you're using there is more or less alternating current. So you're plugging in into the atmospheric energy around you, and then you're drawing it to yourself, and then you're dispersing it. Okay, so you'll direct it, you'll draw it to yourself, and then you play with that energy. The thing is you are a part of the universe. So a lot of people will think, oh, I'm starting this movement. No. The universe is using you as a point of which the movement starts. Okay, so anytime that you think that you're out there just doing this 100% by your own volition, just understand that there's a whole number of things that came together to make sure that you were able to do the things that you're doing out there. Okay, as much as we'd like to believe ourselves to be gods, we're not. And if we are, then all of us are, and I've said this before. So if I am, then that means everyone out there on planet Earth is a god, including the ground, the ants, everything. But if I'm not, that means that everything out here isn't. And this is just part of the natural process of actually being alive. You're learning how to use an energetic field which is around you because you are literally swimming in energy. That's what everything is. And so once you learn how to project your energy by thought and control your energy and how it operates, and again, you're controlling your own field. Self-mastery. You're learning how to control yourself, your own personal energetic field. You are not controlling the energetic field of Mother Nature. You're not taking control over the wind. You're not summoning anything. At least if you're doing this, this has nothing to do with summoning. It has nothing to do with witchcraft. It has nothing to do with Satanism. It has nothing to do with any religion that is on this planet. Period. This is learning how to use your technology. This is the same thing as learning how to use a computer. You're learning how to operate your brain, you're learning how to operate your energetic system, and it all comes down to being able to use the mind. Michael Grubb, Evolved Ministry, Eternal Love.